Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson will undergo season-ending surgery on a broken bone in his throwing shoulder. This led to so many conversations like, wow, what, how, when? He was just playing his best ball. Did the Browns?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cleveland Browns season is over. They ain't nothing more than the New York Jets now. That's what I'm disappointed that none of y'all did.
Playoffs! Unbelievable! What a season!
Bro, the NFL might have to investigate the Browns because how did they pull this off? YouTube gang, what is up? It's above me. I'm your boy, The Cloud. Wherever you're at in the world, I'm sending you great vibes and positivity for all future Browns-related updates and all future sports updates. Please be sure to drop a like and leave a comment on this video as it helps get this video out to more like-minded people like yourself. You feel me? So listen, the Browns are going to the playoffs on this roller coaster ride for a season for Browns fans and all football fans alike. So from the massive amount of injuries that we've had this season to the crazy amount of starting quarterbacks that have started this season, the NFL season has been a treat for most NFL fans, unless you like the Pittsburgh Steelers. The biggest story of this season has been my Cleveland Browns, and we know this has potential to be one of the greatest Browns teams of all time on paper. But we all know, if you've been in Cleveland and if you've supported the Cleveland Browns, that good things that just don't happen to us all the time. And you knew this season wasn't going to come without some struggles. From being home underdogs and beating the rival Cincinnati Bengals at home in the season opener to losing Nick Chubb week 2 out in Pittsburgh, going from the high horse all the way down to the bottom, we started off the season crazy. Followed by a promising Deshaun Watson performance versus the Titans. We finally see what the defense is like, holding the Titans to 94 yards. Everything is looking like it's on the up and up. Then, boom, Deshaun Watson injures his shoulders versus the Titans. Now we got all these questions up in the air about the Browns offense without Nick Chubb and without Deshaun Watson. And Baltimore is coming into town the next week. Go figure. So we end up starting DTR at home versus the Baltimore Ravens in our only home loss this season. The Deshaun Watson injury really put us in quarterback troubles for the next couple weeks. So instead of starting DTR again versus the 49ers, thank goodness they didn't do that, we ended up starting PJ Walker, which really wasn't much better. But somehow we managed to still pull this game out and win versus the 49ers in a pretty close game, which in the grand scheme of things, when you go back and look at it, that was one of our more important wins that we really needed to pull off. So Deshaun Watson returns versus the Colts, and he makes an early exit because he gets smacked early in the game and injures his shoulder again. And I'm telling you, this is the shit that would make you want to rage quit at this point, because how can this man not stay healthy and help us win games? It's just, why does it keep happening? But PJ Walker comes in, leads the Browns to a game-winning drive. Somehow we managed to still pull this game out. Now, at this point, I'm just begging for Deshaun Watson to get healthy by any means, because I cannot take too many more of these PJ Walker performances. My young heart just could not take it any much longer. And that's not a diss to PJ Walker, kinda. But we paid Deshaun Watson way too much money to be out here hurt. Get healthy and come and save me from this horror, please. Now, the Browns are 4-2 at this point, and they got to go out to Seattle, starting PJ Walker again in Seattle. Gonna be a really tough game. The Browns ended up making it a game. It was a really close game, and that was a game that Kevin Stefanski lost the game himself. But I think that ended up being a really important game for Kevin Stefanski to learn from, because, boy, has he grown from the decision-making and the mistakes that he made in that Seattle game. Now, the next 2 weeks ended up being roses and bubbles for the Browns. Deshaun Watson returns from injury versus Arizona at home. The Browns get their first shutout win in years. Then the Browns go out to Baltimore, where Deshaun Watson started off terrible in the first half, but he had that perfect second half where he went 12 for 12, leading the Browns to a comeback win. And the Browns defense showed up, getting a pick six late and forcing Lamar Jackson to make some bad decisions. And then, boom,
Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson wanted to go season-ending surgery on a broken bone in his throwing shoulder. This led to so many conversations like, wow, what, how, when? He was just playing his best ball.
Deshaun Watson is ruled out for the rest of the season, and it feels like everything is just crumbling down. And to make matters worse, we face Pittsburgh next week. So now you telling me I gotta suffer through more PJ Walker and we play Pittsburgh next week. What did I do to deserve this? But instead of a PJ Walker-sized bullet to the head, I was forced with a more hopeful route in DTR getting to start this week. And at least this week, he getting a full week of reps with the ones. He can actually learn the offense. It's not so spontaneous. So we had to be all right, right?
Wrong.
But he did manage to get the Browns in the field goal range and pull out the victory versus the Steelers. So I guess he's all right by me. But I'm a faithful and I'm a hopeful Browns fan always, but I could see that this offense was lacking in identity, and they did not support the defense none at any point in time during these games without Deshaun Watson. And that was going to have to change drastically and quickly if they wanted to continue to win games and push towards the playoffs. So the Browns go out to Denver and just get beat up on all cylinders. And to make it worse, DTR goes out of the game with a concussion. So you know what that means. I'm forced to suffer through more PJ Walker performances. Why? Oh. This also means that PJ Walker is the only active quarterback on the Browns roster at this point. And then I just start thinking to myself,
What did I do to deserve this? I mean, what specifically?
Then we get the breaking news. Joe Flacco is going to work out for the Browns. And I'm pretty sure we all laughed this off. I laughed it off when I first seen it. But the main point for that was I don't have to watch PJ Walker. So Joe Flacco gets the start versus the Rams. The defense finally gets gashed. But forgot to mention, Dwan Jones is out. Jedrick Wills is out. Juan Thornhill is out. And Denzel Ward are all out. But I saw something that game. I saw a window of opportunity with the Browns offense, and I saw something in Joe Flacco that I hadn't seen in any of the other Browns quarterbacks aside from Deshaun Watson, in his ability to be able to push the ball down the field accurately. He threw for 254 yards with 2 passing touchdowns and 1 interception versus the Rams. Those 2 passing touchdowns already matched DTR in the season. So the hope was there. And boy, were we right. Joe Flacco has come into the Browns organization and he has turned it around. Throwing for 300 yards in each of his last 4 games, had at least 2 passing touchdowns in each of those games. Now, he's thrown a decent amount of interceptions, but if you watch this man play, you'll understand he's throwing the ball confident and he's putting the ball in spots where he's trusting in his arm and he's trusting in his teammate. Amari Cooper, who was already having a good season prior to Joe Flacco showing up, has turned it up to the max. Week 16 versus the Houston Texans, he ended up breaking the Cleveland Browns receiving record, 11 receptions, 265 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now the Browns were able to clinch their first playoff spot since 2020 at home versus the New York Jets. One more for the bad guys. So hopefully the Browns were able to use their 10 days rest from Thursday to Sunday to rest up some key players and also use their opportunity of having a clinched playoff spot already to rest a lot of key starters and recover for the playoffs. A lot of people didn't think we would be here. Honestly, and it was points in the season where I even thought we wouldn't be here.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
But that's because this team is resilient. You are seeing what Coach used to preach about to you back in the day, that next man up mentality. Not feeling sorry for yourself and actually just going out there and doing your job. Because when you do your job, the man next to you is going to do his job, and then we win. The script writers are cold for this one. They need to investigate the Browns because how did they make it through this? Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Please be sure to drop a like and leave a comment on who you think would be a good matchup for the Browns in the playoffs. How far do you think the Browns are going to go? Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and turn on that notification bell for all of my future videos. And always remember, never forget, it's above me.